think about over the course of an entire lifetime, think about all the money that leaves your family for things like mortgages, investments, vehicles, property, weddings, taxes, tuition, business loans, insurance, personal expenses, business expenses, recreational vehicles, vacations, sports, hobbies. Add up all the money that you've earned and spent up to this point in your lifetime. Could you write me a check for that amount of money right now? The answer is no, because everyone else got it. In your own family, you have maybe siblings, parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews. They all need the use of money for their entire lifetime. And so you not only have the ability to take control of this function as it relates to your needs, but to have an amazing impact on your family as well. And once a year, we get together, we meet as a family. We've named it the annual family banking meeting, as you can see here, all the t-shirts that we had on at the one before our most recent one that we just had a couple of weeks ago. And this gentleman that you see here is Larry. And Larry, my father-in-law, when he retired from the Edmonton Police Service after more than 3 decades of service, he still needed the use of money and had planned to do a lot of traveling and, purchase vehicles and, do a number of things. And I remember sitting down with him one day and I said, Papa, we want to create a policy where I will pay the premium. So I'll be the policy owner. I'll pay all the premiums. So you have no out-of-pocket expense at all. You just have to consent to your life being insured. And he said, well, I'm type 2 diabetic. I don't know if I'm insurable. And I said, well, there's only one way to find out. We need to apply. And so we went through the application process and we got him approved. And what I explained to Papa's spouse, Nona, I said, Nona, when we do this, we are going to make sure that you do not have another bad financial day in your lifetime. So heaven forbid, if the unthinkable happened to Papa, you'll be okay. All that I expect is to be reimbursed for the premium that I paid. And I'm going to have control over the use of the policy until Papa graduates. And so everybody said, yeah, that sounds like a good plan. And so we got the policy put into place and things were rolling along just fine. And in September of 2020, my father-in-law passed away after a very short battle with cancer. And nobody expected Papa to pass away at an early age. We expected him to live many more years. And when he received the cancer diagnosis, 5 weeks later, he was no longer with us. And I remember sitting with him in hospice while he was receiving palliative care. And this was 3 days before he passed away. And we spent a few hours talking about a number of things, including that we were going to carry on his legacy, because part of what we did with the death benefit proceeds is that we purchased a policy for each of his 9 grandkids, and we're funding that policy. So this is Papa's contribution, to a legacy. And you'll recall my nephew, Evan, earlier, one of several policies that are on his life already at age 13. One of those policies is from a portion of the death benefit proceeds from Papa Habs. And we took care of everything with the death benefit proceeds, and Nona his widow, and my mother-in-law, she will never have a bad financial day for the rest of her lifetime. And so the significance of me sharing this is that while it's not only important to understand the numbers, super important to get a grasp on that. If we don't understand the problem, the numbers just don't matter. And if we truly understand the problem, the numbers still won't matter. We're dealing with people. We're dealing with our family. We're dealing with keeping the money in the family. And in this particular scenario, this was something that was so important for us to do. And without the knowledge of the process or our family understanding and buying into the process, the numbers wouldn't have mattered to any of us. And so I always explain the significance of the family banking system and creating this for the family. And I want you to think about, over the course of an entire lifetime, think about all the money that leaves your family for things like mortgages, investments, vehicles, property, weddings, taxes, tuition, business loans, insurance, personal expenses, business expenses, recreational vehicles, vacations, sports, hobbies. Add up all the money that you've earned and spent up to this point in your lifetime. Could you write me a check for that amount of money right now? The answer is no, because everyone else got it. Have the banking process work for you rather than the process working against you. And you don't have to get a policy or a system of policies from us. There are lots of great people out there that you can work with, but please don't try and do this alone. Households, business owners who do this right all have a good coach, just like Sarbloh emphasized. I recommend, much like Sarbloh and all of our teammates would, make sure that you get a good coach. Think of Wayne Gretzky, best hockey player of all time. The best skill that he developed was being coachable. And that took him right through his career. And you think of other hockey players like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins of the Edmonton Oilers National Hockey League franchise. He also understands the importance of having good coaches, not only in his professional life as an athlete, but in his personal life as well. And when you choose who you're going to work with, here are some things that I would invite you to think about. You've got to be careful about the life carrier that you put your policies with and ensure that your policies are designed properly. Most people who are selling you life insurance have very little, if any, expertise in this area. So make sure that you're working with somebody who specializes in the process of becoming your own banker, the infinite banking concept. You should choose someone who is an authorized infinite banking practitioner with the Nelson Nash Institute. Here's what that means. It means that they've been through a course of study. They have been through an examination. They have spent time with a mentor, and they can demonstrate to you how they are implementing this process in their own life. Now, this is something that Liz shared earlier, that when you have an opportunity to meet with a practitioner on our team, that practitioner can share with you how they are implementing this process in their own life. You want to work with somebody who can speak from a place of authenticity versus someone who's not practicing this process, but telling you all the right and wrong ways of how to do it in your own life. Wouldn't make any sense. So make sure you work with somebody who's thoroughly familiar with the concept. And the reason you should do this in your life now is because you deserve the outcome now. The longer you wait, the longer and the more you penalize yourself. The real questions are, what's the cost of doing nothing at all? There's a cost of taking no action. Based on everything that you've learned up to this point today, what would the cost be of leaving the boot camp and doing nothing different? What's the cost of just one more year of all your money leaving your family or your business personally? What's the cost of giving up all the interest that your money could have otherwise earned? Schedule your call with us. It's included with today's boot camp. So here's a recap. The difference between you getting stressed or staying relaxed financially is who controls the banking function in your life. Secondly, you don't have to put your money away in prison for decades only to rely upon someone else to achieve the financial abundance that you deserve today. And thirdly, you don't have to be rich to become your own banker. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, this process looks good, but how will I know if it's going to work for me? You've got to schedule that becoming your own banker call. You can click the link that you received or text the word schedule to 780-809-4599. That's 780-809-4599 and reserve a day and time that works for you. And you had to have subscribed to the Wealth Without Bay Street and the Banker's Vault YouTube channels. Make sure that you go over there and hit the subscribe button, because we're posting so much new content. And like our Nelson Nash shared with us so many times over the years, he expressed that there's no such thing as having arrived in knowledge. There's always something new to learn. And so that is why we encourage you to subscribe to that invaluable resource for that very purpose. And in addition to that, one of the things that I would encourage you to do is, in preparation for that call, just make sure that you've got your thoughts, your questions prepared, so that people who you're connecting with can help you and make sure that you get to a point of clarity. So important to have clarity before deciding to do anything at all. And what I wanted to show you as well is one of the things that sets us apart and what makes us unique out there in the Canadian marketplace, because we really do hold ourselves out there as the gold standard in education on this process. And it's not just about educating you on deciding whether or not this is something you want to do, but once you have a policy or a system of policies in place, what happens after that? How are you supported? How are you coached and mentored? The two most important words in the title of Nelson Nash's book are your own. We want you to become independent. We don't want you to be dependent upon anyone else to take control of this function as it relates to your needs. Now, one of the ways that we go about helping you develop that independence is through our client portal. Now, this resource in and of itself is absolutely amazing. There's no cost associated with this resource when you become a client, but you must be a client in order to have ungated access to this resource. Now, this client portal, what I want to do is I'm going to log into my own portal as I've just done, but I want to invite Sarbloh. Sarbloh, would you mind hopping on, bringing up your client portal, and just take us on a cruise through the client portal, and let's show people the value that they get.
Every client gets their own unique login, username, and password. So when you log into the portal, this is what you're going to see. So there's a let's get started video, which is going to welcome you through the client portal. Now, what we do as a team, and like Jason mentioned, we are gold standard when it comes to education on the process of becoming a banker. And we want to keep giving more value, more content to our clients. So when you click on Deeper Dive, you're going to see all the group client coaching sessions that we've done. So with our clients, we have a process in place that we meet with the clients on a one-on-one basis based on their plan. But in addition to that, we do group client coaching sessions on very specific topics. Topics could be about expanding on family banking systems. Topics could be more about in detail investing into real estate through the use of process of becoming a banker. So if you see this right here, client coaching, so we've done 2 quarterly client coaching sessions year to date so far. So it's all clickable and it's accessible to all our clients. So the April 10th session was focused more on family banking systems. So if I click on that session, I will have pre-recorded information from that group client coaching sessions. And usually these sessions are about 2.5 hours long. And our clients' feedback is, this is fantastic. This is great. We need more of these. So we're going to continue providing more value, more education. The July 10th session was more focused on real estate investments, how we can, flowing money through more specifically towards strategies. If you are a real estate investor, strategies like flips or BRRRR or maybe Airbnb. So we expanded on some case studies in this group client coaching session. We have another one coming up in October, which we're pretty excited about. Now, in addition to this, any recorded content that we do regarding the process of becoming a banker, it's all posted right here. So all our webinars are posted. We also have videos from Nelson directly sharing things on the process of becoming a banker. Nelson walking his wife through how to be a widow. This is actually a phenomenal video, one of my favorites. Nelson talking about his first policy. So Nelson is the founder and creator of the process of becoming a banker. So you get to hear directly from the founder himself. So in addition to that, all the frequently asked questions that we get is, okay, how do I request a policy loan? How do I pay back a policy loan? So we've heard all that great feedback from all our existing clients. So just to make life easy for everybody and much more effective and productive, we've added a series of videos on admin guides and forms. So questions regarding, okay, if I want to request a policy loan, how do I do it? So based on which company your policies are with, and we're not going to do a commercial for any company today. So for example, policy loan, you can click on this. There's a video that's going to walk you through policy loan form. You can download the policy loan form. There's step-by-step directions on how to fill out a policy loan form, whom to send it to. We made it very easy and convenient. In fact, when policies get in place, before we will meet with the client because once the policy starts, we do a client onboarding or we do a let's get started meeting. And usually what happens is before we even do that meeting, the clients have already requested policy loan. They're already taking action, which is fantastic. That's exactly the kind of behavior that we want to encourage, because it's not about becoming our own banker. It's about becoming your own banker. The keyword meaning your own. You need to be in the driver's seat, and we want to empower you to be your own banker. The questions regarding how do I pay back a policy loan? How do I change beneficiary? So this and this portal is going to expand. There's going to be a lot more content. So this is what our clients value, and we want to give them more. That is our promise to you.
And that's just one of many things that for us, we stand out in a very unique way in the marketplace. And the reason is that we want to truly understand what exactly it is that you value and be able to provide that. And education is always at the forefront, of course, of everything that we do. And so this is a great resource for you to be able to tap into 24/7, 365. And you must be a client in order to do that. Now, I want to ask you that if all this process did was keep more money in your family or business, would it be worth it? If all this process did was create a peaceful, stress-free financial life, would it be worth it? The power of commitment to yourself cannot be overstated. You do have options. First option is you can do nothing and nothing will change, and you'll continue to work your butt off for the banks and everyone else will get all your money. Second option is schedule that call. Take hold of your personal finances and put control back in your hands. If you're committed, what would you do? Are you committed? Give me a Y for a yes and N for no in the chat window. What are we getting, Liz?
We're getting yeses.
Yeses are good. I want you to picture a day when financial control is in your hands, not the banks, not the government, not some temperamental market, but financial control is in your hands. I want you to picture a day when your spouse leans over to you and says, thank you. Thank you for not making me wait 30 years to enjoy the lifestyle we want today. Picture a day when your finances are exactly where you want them to be. And you know with certainty, absolute certainty, that you have the freedom, the cash confidence to travel when you want to travel, all restrictions aside, relax when you want to relax, and serve when you want to serve. Text the word schedule to 780-809-4599 or click the link that you already received and reserve a day and time that works for you. Here's one more thought that I want to leave you with. And I was 24 years young and I had all of my belongings packed in my Chevy Beretta. And I was ready for this 3-day drive from Timmins, Ontario, all the way to Edmonton, Alberta to start a new life. And standing in the foyer of my dad's home, he wrapped me in a big bear hug. I'm 6'3", a small one in my family. And he wrapped me in a bear hug and he said, son, I'm really proud of you. Drive careful, call me when you get to Edmonton, and don't get any speeding tickets along the way. I got pulled over by the RCMP just outside of Winnipeg and got my very first speeding ticket ever. And when I arrived in Edmonton, I didn't call home. I got straight to work. And 3 weeks later, I was sitting down to dinner with my teammates and I remembered to call my dad. I had excused myself from the dinner table and made that call. And my stepmom, Beverly, answered the phone. And when I asked to speak to my dad, she said, well, he's in the bathroom right now. Do you have time to wait? And I said, no, I don't have a half an hour. Can you please let him know? I apologize in advance for not calling sooner, that things are going really well and we'll catch up as soon as we can. And the very next morning, I was paged to pick up an urgent phone call. And when I picked up that call, it was my stepmom, Beverly. And she had told me that she was frantic, and she had told me that my father had passed away suddenly and unexpectedly. Of course, I was completely devastated. And now I know that it's human nature to procrastinate. That's a human condition, and that we think that there will always be time. But what I learned is you can't wait. And when my dad passed away unexpectedly, I felt lost, full of regret, and that I had let him down. And since then, I've dedicated my life, and my teammates are dedicating their lives to help people just like you to live a fulfilling life now so that there are no regrets later. You deserve a life of no regrets. You deserve to be in control of your financial future. You deserve a lifetime of abundance. So join me and let's get you the life that you deserve. With that, I want to sincerely say again that you made the right decision to be here with us today. We appreciate that you made an investment of your time. So thank you. Thank you for being with us.